Hey guys, Parker here, and welcome back to another Dungeon Boss video, except it's not actually Dungeon Boss at all, and I just clickbaited you. So basically, I'm going to provide some context because it's probably needed. Basically, a while ago, Netflix bought out Boss Fight Entertainment, the company that makes Dungeon Boss, and they started work on a new version of Dungeon Boss that's just called Dungeon Boss Respawned, which is basically kind of like just a reskin of the old game, except with some new stuff added and some stuff taken away. So they were selecting people to beta test the game, because obviously most games need beta testers in order to be good. I was one of them. I don't know why they selected me as a beta tester. I think it was because my account reached the max level that an account could reach on the main game, which is 80. But nevertheless, it's pretty cool that I get to play test this. This is basically just going to be kind of like a first impression of the game, and don't worry, I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to upload this and they won't sue me for all my vital organs. But no, I've seen a bunch of other people upload it and be basically fine, so I think I'm good. If I'm not, I will take the video down, but for now I'm gonna assume I'm good. So I kind of forgot how slow the early game is, especially in the literal sense, since you don't have access to speeding up. So there's not really... The main differences between this and the actual game is that, as you can see, there was a 5th tab on the hero card called the story, which is basically involves finishing various different storylines, and that's how you unlock characters at first. You can still use the portal, like the summons that are in the main game, but other than that, the main form of unlocking is now the storylines, and they give you gradually more tokens as you complete higher and higher stages, I guess. So I don't know if it's enough to get the hero to the maximum star, 6 star. For that, you need, I think, 600 tokens. So I'm not sure if it's enough to get there, but if not, it's probably pretty close. So yeah, I've forgotten. It's honestly kind of nice to be playing the game from the start again, but at the same time, it feels really weird because I've done this 3 times. And yes, my Netflix account profile picture is George from Captain Underpants. Deal with it. I've already done this 3 times, so if you remember, the account I first made my Dungeon Boss videos on was on another iPad. That iPad has just been lost to the void of time. So I got a new account that I've spent the last 2 or so years on, slowly upgrading, because I wasn't really motivated for about the year after I got my current iPad to actually play and grind out the game again. So I did that, and then I got it on my phone, the actual version on my phone, just to see what it's like restarting again, and now it's there. So, oh yeah, by the way, if you hear any major differences in the audio, is because this time I'm recording this on my phone instead of on my iPad, which I usually use to record videos. And the reason for that is because I think it's called Test Flight, the app that actually gives me access to beta testing this game. It said I can only beta test if I'm on iOS 15 up. And if you're not aware, there's a really annoying bug with Geometry Dash where you can't actually physically open the game if you have iOS 15. And so that's why my iPad is locked to iOS 14. So it told me to go to iOS 15, and I'm like, haha, nope, I'm doing it on my phone. So yeah, that's why. So I completed the little tutorial bit, the first tutorial bit, so I'm gonna run through the first dungeon of the campaign, and I'll get back to you if anything interesting happens, which it probably won't. Alright, see you then. Alright, I've made it to the first boss of the first dungeon, and one thing I noticed almost instantly is... Oh, and if also the trait that reduces crit chance is called no crit, because that makes sense. So one of the things I noticed right away is that... So previously, the main thing dwarfs were classified by, dwarf being something like Rogar, who is weirdly pasty, I might add. But it was a trait that basically, if he was inflicted with an attack or a debuff that decreased his chance the chance that his attacks would land, he still would hit those attacks, and he also basically, it's a guarantee. He can't miss, and enemies can't dodge his attacks, and he also has bonus damage against any enemy that has a trait that increases their chance to dodge. So, but they removed that in this game, and in fairness, they did kind of replace it. They basically the new trait is if an enemy manages to dodge an attack from a dwarf, the next attack from the dwarf will be a guaranteed hit and a guaranteed critical hit. But it's just not the same. Like, honestly, I'm sorry. But other than that, there's not really any major differences. So I just unlocked Yasmin, who is honestly one of the best healers in the game. I still use her, like, to this day on my level 80 account. And it's just because she's really good. But it's honestly kind of funny how as soon as you get her, the game doesn't even, like, give you an option to upgrade her at all. It's just like, okay, do the next dungeon then. So, yeah. This is a little bit tougher than I remember. And, oh, one of the other major changes is they've taken out a few things. So they've taken out stamina, which was basically a limit on how many dungeons you could do. Raid tickets, which are a limit on how many raids you can do. And runes, which I don't think need much of an explanation. They basically give you a ton of extra stats for, excuse me, more or less free. And no, I'm not editing that out. But they removed all of those things, so the game's like actually like hard. I mean, not really. I've seen people do a lot of the bosses, like the, I guess, story bosses. There's 4 of them with lower levels than the dungeon recommends, but it's still a lot more difficult. And I don't know how I like that, but it's whatever. They also removed quick loot keys, which I really don't like. But yeah, so by doing this, I've actually completed a storyline for a character called Augustus. So I'm gonna unlock that and then probably end the video and do some more grinding later. So overall, I think this is a good game. I wish it was more than just a reskin of the original, but I think it's a good game. It definitely, I didn't notice many bugs in the beginning, but that's probably because I wasn't, like, looking hard enough. But yeah, there's not really anything I would change other than make it, why is he slow? He's not slow. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I might do more videos on this in the future if you want it, and once this game goes out of beta. So yeah, if you like the video, I guess, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!